Well, hello, this is Mr. Ippolito, and today I'm going to give you a couple of quick textbook reading strategies, and we're going to do that with Chapter 4, Section 3. My number one tip whenever you're reading a textbook is to be curious and to ask questions of the textbook. And if you have internet access, then I would encourage you to dig deeper. Like I said, tap into that curiosity and want to learn more. If you're reading passively, if you're just like reading to try to get it done, it's not going to be any fun. The other thing I'm going to recommend, and if I'm ever giving you a quiz on the reading, is I always recommend you take notes. Well, every time, whether or not you're going to take a quiz, but every time I give you a reading quiz, it's going to be an open note quiz. So I'm going to strongly encourage you to have pen and paper, pencil and paper, and take notes. And again, take notes with the mindset of asking questions of the text, right? So, for example, this is Chapter 4, Section 3. We're on page 168 of the text, and it's troubles at home and abroad. So one of the questions I would write down is, what were some of the troubles that the United States had at home and abroad, right? So ask that question. Ask questions whenever you see key terms and people, words in bold, Anthony Wayne, neutral, impressment, John Jay. Ask the question, well, how am I going to find out about those items or those people, and why are they important to what I'm reading, right? So ask questions, turn these headings into questions. Conflicts in the Northwest Territory. First of all, what kinds of conflicts? Second of all, where is the Northwest Territory? So that's when, if you have internet access, it's great to have Google open, and just, not that you want to go down a rabbit hole. You certainly don't want to spend double or triple the time reading. But if you're not sure where the Northwest Territory is, go ahead and, find a map and, okay. All right, Northwest Territory. You can right mouse click, open image in a new tab, and there's the Northwest Territory right there. We'll zoom in a little bit. There's the Northwest Territory. Okay, so, and then we start reading and we start learning about what those conflicts were, right? I'm not going to read the text for you, but there's a struggle over land. Specifically, there's a struggle between the Americans that were living over here on the East Coast in the original 13 colonies, and the Native Americans in the Northwest Territory. So you're going to learn about that. So again, turning these headings into questions. What were those conflicts in the Northwest Territory? Where is the Northwest Territory? What kind of struggle was there over lands, and was there some sort of resolution, right, to the struggle? So, and then as we keep going, there was a series of battles. Okay, so what were those battles? Who were the battles against, right? It was who versus who. Well, in this case, it turns out that it was the Americans, the white Americans, right, from the United States versus the Native Americans. And so you can learn a little bit about that right here. And then we switch gears, right? So we go from these conflicts between the United States and the Native Americans and the French Revolution. So now we have, we talked about troubles at home and abroad. So at home means right here in the United States. Abroad means in another country, right? So then we start learning about the French Revolution. And so then you can start, asking the question, okay, well, what actually happened in the French Revolution? If you want to go down that rabbit hole, then you can search YouTube for information on the French Revolution. Oversimplified is such a fun platform. Crash Course is great too. So these are both, TED Ed is also, like, any one of these would be a good source. Oversimplified is just hilarious. So you might enjoy that. And again, this is something where, you could learn a little bit more about world history. You're going to need to know the French Revolution when you get into 10th grade world history. So this could be a little bit of a preview for you. So the French Revolution, and then this begs the question, how did we get involved, right? How is the United States connected to something that's happening abroad, overseas, in another country, right? So that would be how I would turn this heading into a question. What does the United States have to do with the French Revolution? Or how did we get involved, or how did we try to stay not involved in the French Revolution? And you can read that. There's that word neutral right there, one of the vocabulary terms. So you can learn the word neutral if you don't already know what that means. Still going now, there's this, and sometimes students are tempted to overlook these like special little cutouts, but you definitely want to look at all the cutouts and the maps and the charts and the graphs and the special pictures. The severed head of Louis XVI. Yes, the severed head of Louis XVI. That would be an interesting story, right? What does the French Revolution have to do with the United States? And what does the severed head of King Louis XVI have to do with us? So when you go into reading, or really any kind of learning with that inquisitive mindset, that inquiry mindset. Like, I want to learn more. Tell me more about this. I want to learn more. Why was it that it says here he was guillotined in effigy? In other words, the people of Philadelphia during this time, during the French Revolution, 20 or 30 times every day were taking a stuffed dummy of King Louis XVI of France and were chopping the stuffed dummy's head off. What? That's crazy. Learn more about it and why. Why did we as Americans have such a strong reaction to the French Revolution? Then you can learn here about impressment. There's another vocabulary term there. Learn about John Jay and what was his involvement in all of this, and angered. Why are people angry? So we keep going. And then this is the end of the chapter right here. Washington retires from public life. So what is it about Washington's retirement that is significant for us, that is long lasting? How did that, how does that take us to better understand George Washington's legacy and maybe his desires, what he wanted for our country? So you're going to read this section right here, and then that's going to lead us into our next lesson, because in our next block lesson, we're going to learn all about George Washington's farewell address. Okay, well, those are some strategies for reading your textbook and having that inquiry mindset, digging a little bit deeper. Oh, by the way, I also did a YouTube search for Washington's farewell address, and this one from CBS Mornings that was just 4 years ago was also a really fascinating. If you're, looking to dig a little bit deeper into George Washington's farewell address, that's interesting as well. All right, I hope you got something from this. Good luck with your reading of Chapter 4, Section 3, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time in class. Take care. Bye-bye.